So picture this. You're Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. You're deep in the fourth round at Wimbledon 2025. Adrenaline is pumping, crowds buzzing. You're 1 point away from taking a crucial game. You serve. Your opponent, Britain's own Sonay Kartal, fires back a backhand trees and it clearly lands out. Like, visibly out, no doubt. But silence, no call, no out, no challenge. Just nothing. The electronic line calling system, yeah, it was turned off. Not broken, not glitched, just deactivated by mistake. And now, instead of taking that game, the point is replayed. Pavlyuchenkova, furious. The crowd, confused. The umpire just checking with the booth. This is the moment that sparked the biggest tennis tech debate of the year. Maybe the decade. Today, we're diving deep into the Wimbledon controversy, the tech malfunction that left fans stunned, and a much bigger question. Has tennis gone too far with automation? Stick around, because this isn't just about 1 point. This is about the soul of tennis. All right, let's break this down, because this wasn't just any glitch. This was a fourth-round Wimbledon match, a slam, a historic venue, the kind of stage where controversies live forever. July 6th, 2025, Pavlyuchenkova versus Sonay Kartal. The match is tight. First set, 4-4. Pavlyuchenkova is serving at ad 40, just 1 point from breaking the deadlock. Kartal hits a backhand. It clearly sails beyond the baseline. Everyone in the stadium sees it. Cameras catch it. Commentators react. Even the viewers at home are screaming at their TVs. That was out, but the electronic line calling system stays silent. No out, no buzz, no animation, nothing. Why? Because Wimbledon's brand new 2025 upgrade, the fully automated Hawkeye Live system, was turned off for that side of the court. Let that sink in. The most high-tech line calling system in tennis was just not running mid-match at Wimbledon. The chair umpire, Nico Hellworth, stops the point. He tells the crowd they're checking if the system was up and running because, get this, there was no audio call. Eventually, tournament officials step in. They confirm, yeah, oops, the system was deactivated on that side. Operator error. Their solution? Replay the point. That's right. No overrule. No correction. Just replay it like it never happened, as if that out ball never existed. And Pavlyuchenkova, she was livid. She didn't hold back either. I think a game was stolen from me, she said later. That's why we have a chair umpire. Otherwise, let's just play without them and make everything automatic. Oof. You could feel the tension. Fans weren't quiet either. One post went viral. Wimbledon admit line calling failed because someone accidentally turned it off. Another fan posted, big error on the Russians' side against a Brit at 4-4. That's sketchy. Whether or not there was bias, the optics were awful. And here's the thing. This wasn't just a random glitch. It exposed something deeper and like a blind spot in the future of tennis. Should we really be trusting machines this much? Let's rewind. Where did all this even begin? So how did we get here? How did tennis, one of the most tradition-obsessed sports on earth, end up handing line calls to an invisible robot? To understand the drama, you've got to go back to the early 2000s. It all started with Serena Williams, 2004 US Open, Serena versus Capriati. 3 blatantly bad line calls go against her in a single set. The world watched in disbelief. ESPN called it one of the worst officiated matches in tennis history. That match basically forced the sport to admit, okay, maybe we do need technology. Enter Hawkeye. Fast forward to 2006, the system debuts at the Miami Open and makes its Grand Slam entrance at the US Open the same year. The original system wasn't automatic, it was challenge-based. Players got 2 or 3 chances per set to challenge bad calls, and when they did, the crowd would hold its breath. Then, boom, the animated replay. In or out. Fans loved it. Drama, accuracy, closure. It felt like progress. Wimbledon joined the party in 2007. Center court got Hawkeye, then court 1. Slowly the system expanded, but that wasn't the end of the evolution. 2017, the silent revolution begins. That year, Hawkeye Live, the fully automated version, gets tested at the ATP Next Gen Finals. No human line judges, no player challenges. The system calls every ball live, using pre-recorded voices to shout out, fault, or foot fault. At first, people were skeptical, but then 2020 happened. The pandemic accelerates everything. COVID-19 forces tournaments to cut down on on-court personnel. Suddenly, having line judges seems risky. Tournaments like the US Open and Australian Open switched to Hawkeye Live on most courts. By 2021, the Australian Open becomes the first slam to go fully electronic. In 2022, the US Open follows suit. ATP announces that all tournaments will use ELC by 2025. And Wimbledon, the temple of tradition, they resist. They love their white uniforms. They love their line judges. They even have a whole academy for line officials. But in 2024, they make the call. From 2025 onward, we're going full ELC live. It was historic and controversial. Why? Because Wimbledon wasn't just switching tech, they were removing an entire human layer of the game. No more finger pointing from line judges, no more dramatic player arguments, no more challenge, and the whole stadium going silent. Just silence until a robotic voice says, out. But let's get technical for a second. How does Hawkeye actually work? It uses 6 to 10 high-speed cameras mounted around the court. They track the ball in 3D space, 340 frames per second. That data is used to create a virtual model of where the ball landed. And then within milliseconds, a pre-recorded voice announces the call. The claimed accuracy? 3.6 millimeters. Sounds good, right? Well, yes and no, because even that small margin can mean everything when we're talking about a ball just clipping the line. And that 3.6 millimeters, it's based on lab conditions. In real matches, there are variables, speed, shadows, body blocks, net deflections, even camera angles can mess it up. So while Hawkeye might be more accurate than humans, it's not infallible. And that brings us back to Wimbledon 2025 and a match where the system was accidentally turned off. All this tech, all this trust. And it came down to someone clicking the wrong setting. We've come full circle. Okay, so let's be real for a second. Wimbledon didn't just have a tech issue. This wasn't your Wi-Fi dropping during a Zoom call. They had one job, get the line calls right. And when the whole point of going all in on electronic line calling is accuracy, and then the system doesn't even work during a crucial point in a fourth round match, yeah, fans are going to lose it. So here's the $1 million question. Is this what tennis really wants? A world where players can't challenge calls, where umpires can't override tech, where one glitch, one missed signal, one operator error can decide a match? That's exactly what happened to Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. She was serving for a game in a tight set. Kartal hits a backhand. It lands out. Clearly out. Everyone in the stands could see it. Even the replay was obvious. But the system, the one thing players are told to trust completely, said nothing. No call. Why? Because the server-side system was off. Just off. And because there's no human backup anymore. The chair umpire couldn't call it either. So what did they do? They replayed the point. Anastasia's reaction. A game was stolen from me. You could see it in her eyes. She wasn't just upset. She was heartbroken. Years of training, a Wimbledon run on the line, and tech, not tennis, decided the outcome. But this isn't just about Pavlyuchenkova. Let's talk about Coco Gauff. She's been begging for video replay systems in tennis, like VAR in football or DRS in cricket. Her argument, if fans at home can see a blown call, why can't we? And honestly, she's not wrong. Like us, other sports have found ways to use technology and keep officials involved. Football refs get help from VAR, but they still make the final call. In cricket, umpires review DRS footage. There's a human element in tennis. Once Hawkeye speaks, it's gospel. You can't challenge it, you can't argue it, you just have to accept it, even if it's wrong. So if you've ever screamed, "that was out," at your screen, or if you've ever felt a player got robbed, or if you just want tennis to keep its soul, you're in the right place. Subscribe. Join the debate, and let's make sure the next generation of tennis isn't one where players have to fight against robots. They should only be fighting each other. Let's open the floor, because whether you're team tech or team tradition, you care about this sport. And here at Tennis Titans, we're not just here to recap matches, we're here to have the tough conversations.